It's your girl, Nene. Welcome back to my channel. Now, don't forget to subscribe and hit that notification button so that you don't miss a thing, okay? So, this is sort of me like redoing my channel over here on YouTube. And basically, I just want this to be a safe place. Well, it probably won't be safe, honey, but a place where I can come and just talk about all things Nene. Yes. So there'll be days I'll have on makeup over here and there'll be days I will not. And today, as you can see, your girl is not wearing any makeup, okay? And I like it like that. Really, I'm not a makeup girl like people believe. I am a skin girl. I love great skin. And so I mess around with all the skin products. I'm a skin girl. And I'm always somewhere seeing my esthetician. I see her every other week to just do things to my skin. And I love that kind of stuff. All that anti-aging things. I love doing all that stuff. So I've been getting a lot of questions and a lot of people saying, you know, how did you and Bethenny get together? What happened? Blah, 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 blah. So I thought I'd come over here and do a quick recap so everybody won't have to ask me. I can just go ahead on and tell you. Okay? So Bethenny had reached out to me a while back about maybe coming on her show and talking with her, or just interviewing, just basically interviewing. And again, I wasn't ready. Whenever people call me about interviews, I'm never ready, honestly. But because interviews scare me, because I feel like people who watch the interviews get really confused, like, why is she talking about that? And you're like, I'm in an interview. They're asking me questions and I'm answering the questions. So I try to be, you know, selective about when I'm going to do an interview and who I'm going to do the interview with. Nonetheless, I decided that I was going to do an interview with Bethenny. And so I got to tell y'all all of this. Okay, so we decided to do it. Bethenny flew me in to her home. So she has a beautiful house in Connecticut. I flew into New York. Of course, her driver picked me up and took me to her place. So let me just tell you. First, let me go back. The night before the interview, I was extremely nervous, like I could not sleep all night long. I was so nervous about doing the interview. And Bethenny and I talked about this. I was really nervous because I don't want to be in an interview where somebody is like tricking me or doing some sort of gotcha kind of question. And I didn't know what she was going to do. I have not ever seen her podcast. I didn't know what was going to happen. So fast forward, a car picked me up. I flew into New York. A driver drove me over to Connecticut. So we're driving through her gates. Okay. Bethenny lives on an estate that is like acres and insane, and she has all these houses on her property, which is insane and gorgeous and beautiful. And when I got there, she was in the main house, and they took me over to like the guest house, which she calls a cottage. It was a whole nother house, honey. I don't even know how she called it a cottage. I'm like, girl, this is a whole nother house. This is some people whole house. It was upstairs, downstairs. I'm like, this is a whole house. She has apple trees in her yard. She has a trampoline. She has a, oh my God, I forget what you call it. Anyway, nonetheless, her place is like crazy. And the crazy part about it, I have to be honest about how I thought. This is what I was thinking. Okay, I think her main house is 10,000 square feet. And then she has another house that's, I don't know how many square feet. And then she has another house, I don't know how many square feet. Now, yes, my house my husband and I lived in was a 10,000 square foot house. We lived in a neighborhood, not on an estate. I want to just be honest. So as I was pulling through her gates, I started thinking to myself, now we started at the same point, and wow, look at all of this. It was like, this cannot be a person that was a reality star. Could not be for real. And not that, you know, reality stars can't make all this money, but it was just sort of like, for me, it was kind of like, I don't know, like, wow, we started in the same place and look where she is. And literally have done Broadway, scripted shows, every freaking reality show it is. And I was just, you just can't help but think like, wow, we started at the same point. And I'm just being honest about how I was thinking. And I really was thinking like, wow, she is so far. And I'm still, working my ass off. But nonetheless, after that, she had a nice little small crew. They were all women, which I love. A photographer that took some pictures of us, which you probably have seen us sitting around her apple tree, or we took a few pictures just outside in her yard. And then we went inside of her main house, and she gave me a little tour, which I love. I love to see a crib. And one thing I forgot to see was her shoe closet, because I love to see, a closet only if you want me to see your closet. Now, I'm not going to just break in your closet. So, she showed me around her house. It's somewhat vintage in some places. Some of the old pieces of the house that was there many, many years ago is still there. But it was very beautifully done. And in her basement area is where she has like her podcast set up, which was really, really nice. And we didn't talk about like, these are the questions we're going to go over. This is the stuff we're going to say. We didn't talk about any of those things, which is why I was like really, really nervous, because I was scared that it may be something asked of me that I personally did not want to answer. However, I am an open book in all interviews that I go to. So I am open to talking about almost anything. And if I don't want to talk about it, I kind of just don't talk about it. You know what I mean? So a lot of the questions that Bethenny was asking me, we never stopped. We just kept going and kept going and kept going in the interview. It was really like two, old girlfriends that hadn't seen each other in years, and we were just catching up on everything. And I enjoyed it. Her team took really good care of me. They knew I was super nervous. They know that, I've been through a lot that people just do not know about. And even though I had that interview with Bethenny and we touched on those things, there is so much you do not know, so much I have never even spoken about. I got a question saying, did Bravo or Andy or whoever it is, they never wanted to talk to you? And I want to answer that question. They never talked to me. How we got to this point is I was asking that we should sit down so I can talk to them about the issues that we have, or the things that I know that have been done, and I want to be able to sit down and discuss it with someone. No one to this day that I sit right here and do this interview with you have ever said, let's talk to her. Let's see what her problem is. Let's see if there's a world where we can work things out. When I say work things out, I don't mean work them out and go back on the show. I mean work through whatever these issues are that is keeping us, going back and forth. I personally thought that after working for a company for that many years, now granted, companies can tell you goodbye anytime they want to. I get it. But, being that they are still profiting off of me with being the number one meme everywhere, memes all over the place, and I'm the only housewife that have that many memes out there, nobody else. So they're still profiting off of me in that way, and running episodes that they're still profiting off of me. And I feel a conversation was warranted because I figured out what was going on. And it just felt like they would have said, we've had this long working relationship with her. What did she do? She didn't do anything that warranted us to stop her from working, and I literally did not. And I read some of the comments where people saying, "Did Nene forget what she did?" It's like, what did I do? What did I do? If I did something, I'm so willing to own it. I don't have a problem with owning it. And I just want to know, what did I do? I didn't do anything. If only I could share some information with you guys. I just can't. And the reason why I can't is because I don't want to stay stuck in that negative space. I'm in a good place in my life right now. Of course, when all this stuff started happening, I was upset, I was pissed, but time has passed and I can't continue to hold on to all that negative energy. I feel great. I'm doing great. All I want to do is just kind of be in peace and work and do what I love to do, without someone just deciding to have a plan for my life. Like, you can't work, you can't do this, you can't do that. I'm not in that circle anymore. So I should be able to just move on with my life and go and work like anybody else that's in the industry that's working. I've never had an issue on any other set before, and I don't see why I can't just work. And like any other woman or any other mom or any other white lady or any other black lady, like, why can't I just work? So I don't want to stay in this place. I don't want to continue to talk about it, because when you do, I feel like it brings you down. So I really just wanted to be able to just give you guys like a quick recap, and that's it. I'm happy about what's to come. Yeah. And Bethenny was great. She was great. She was very gracious. She was very nice to me and my team, and I couldn't have asked for anything else. She was really, really nice. And the things that she's fighting for, I don't see anything wrong with them. We had a great conversation. She was really, really good to me. So that's literally all I can say about it. She was great. Her home was beautiful. She's extremely successful. And it really gave me like, girl, like, the difference, baby, the difference is very much, there's a difference. There's a difference. We start at the same place, but we don't end at the same place. Very different. It's very different, because I would have to say that Bethenny and I were probably the two biggest players for the Housewives franchise. And she had a great product. Her product did really well. She made a lot of money with that product. I was never really allowed to have like a product or an endorsement deal or a podcast or a talk show. Like, when I said I was never like allowed, which sounds so stupid, but whenever those conversations would come to us, and they would be great conversations, they would somehow just disappear. And then maybe months or a year or so go by, and maybe someone reached out for, a podcast or a talk show, and we start engaging them again and having really good conversations. And these conversations would go on for a period of time, and then it would go dead silent. Wouldn't answer calls, they wouldn't answer emails or anything anymore. And so that's what I mean by I wasn't allowed to have any of those things. I wasn't allowed to do a lot of stuff. Allowed, I really hate saying that word because it sounds so stupid. But really, that's kind of like what it was. It was sort of like, okay, Nene is not allowed to do any of those things. Anyway, Bethenny had a great product. She did very, very well with it. Like any of the girls, we all want to have a product or something, but I think some of us are just not allowed to get those things for whatever reason. Okay, check back over here on my channel. I will just be dropping videos all day, every day, about any and everything that's happening with my life. Literally, me driving my car talking to you guys. So, thank you. I can't wait to catch up with you guys again. Maybe later today. I don't know. Love you.